America's diplomatic surrender to Cuba is almost complete. In an all-out cave to a small communist dictatorship, President Obama has announced the reopening of an embassy in Havana, Cuba, as well as a Cuban embassy in Washington. The surrender by this president marks the end of an embargo put in place and honored by presidents over the past 50 years on behalf of the Cuban people suffering human rights violations. Having won nothing, Obama is now throwing all that away.
The United States has agreed to formally reestablish diplomatic relations with the Republic of Cuba and reopen embassies in our respective countries. This is a historic step forward in our efforts to normalize relations with the Cuban government and people and begin a new chapter with our neighbors in the Americas.
It is doubtful the Cuban people heard Obama's speech, since the communist regime will not permit a free press or media to operate within its borders. Abandoning the cause of freedom and legitimizing the Castro regime is the worst thing Obama can do for the Cuban people. But Obama's legacy is more important to him than spreading freedom around the world. He's already bargained for Cuban cooperation by unjustifiably removing Cuba from the State Department's list of sponsors of terrorism and releasing 3 Cuban nationals responsible for murdering American citizens. According to a report released by our own State Department in 2014, Cuba has made no reforms on the issue of human rights, nor have they made any progress towards a free society. There is no freedom to speak out against the regime in any way, and the Cuban government still locks up political activists who try. They have promised these people that they will remain locked up after normalizing relations with America. Furthermore, taking note of how Iran negotiates with this administration, the Cuban government has laid down a couple of ultimatums. They want all radio and television currently broadcast into the country to stop. As of now, this is the only news the Cuban people receive that isn't sponsored by the regime. They have also demanded the entire territory of Guantanamo Bay be gifted to the Cuban government. Cuba refuses to reestablish full diplomatic relations with the United States until these demands are met. Gee, I wonder what Obama will do.
Thanks for listening. Please subscribe and donate at theraywarnashow.com.